Welcome everybody to the recap.
This is our 10th weekly recap, and we'll be going over the dates of September 21st through the 25th. So I want to thank y'all for joining. I can't believe it's already been 10, but I'm going to start off by going with the summation of the market moving news. So starting Monday, we started the week with some major economic data and updates on the coronavirus. The Chicago Federal National Activity Index dropped and missed expectations. This gauges the overall economic activity and is related to inflationary pressure. So the major indices sold off due to the arrival of the second wave of the coronavirus in Europe. And US banks were involved in some illegal transactions, and there are still concerns over bipartisan cooperation on a stimulus bill over the passing of Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg. So heading into Tuesday, stocks closed higher as tech rebounded, even with Powell giving comments about uncertainty of another COVID-19 arrival renewal. So investors were wary about the economic outlook, with the U.S. hitting 200,000 deaths. But then there's some positive economic news regarding housing. So the August existing home sales rose 6 million, even with the pandemic. The housing sector has seen growth in the last 3 months. So hitting Wednesday, the morning started with some more economic data, so it has been a highlight of this week. So the preliminary manufacturing PMI met expectations, and the Goldman Sachs weekly reopening rose. But stocks would later slide later in the day from Jay Powell reiterating the need for more fiscal support from legislators. That heads into Thursday. So jobless claims missed expectations with a rise of 870,000, showing that the job market is still being affected by COVID-19. But once again, like I mentioned earlier, home sales beat expectations once again, highlighting the housing market leading up to a run-up on the S&P 500. Q4 GDP expectations dropped to 4% as personal income has been affected by the lack of a stimulus bill. Stocks would end positive later in the day as the Democrats prepare a $2.4 trillion COVID-19 stimulus plan. So heading into Friday, stocks ended higher with positive economic data that is showing some progress towards recovery. Although ending negative for the week, the sentiment carried on from Thursday as investors rely on the stimulus bill for hope on recovery in the economy. So it's been kind of a back and forth battle this week as perceptions about, is the economy really heading towards recovery, and will the Congress stimulus bill really facilitate a recovery in the market in the job sector? And then once again, showing how the housing market has been resilient in the COVID-19 pandemic. So heading into some technical analysis for next week, we have the S&P 500 bouncing off the 100 EMA on the daily. And NASDAQ finally found support at 10,727. And then Dow broke support at 276 this week, but is bouncing off the 100 EMA. So a little, rise coming into the end of the week. Still need to be very careful, preserving capital, maybe doing more day trading, being more careful, reduce position sizing, or invest in the longer term. So that concludes I can go into some major earnings. So not much as far as major earnings of this week. We had Nike. They reported their first quarter August 2020 earnings of 95 cents per share on revenue of 10.6 billion. They beat expectations of 48 cents per share on revenue of 9.1 billion. So it definitely was a good opportunity. I know I missed it, but that was a good earnings write-up, textbook, and then possible earnings continuation. They did smash earnings. And then Costco, they reported fourth quarter August 2020 earnings of 3.13 per share on revenue of 53.4 billion. They beat expectations of $2.85 per share on revenue of 52.6 billion. Although they beat expectations, I think there was a negative impact on the charts. So that shows again the risk associated with swinging through earnings. So always be advisable of that. If you plan on it, just know you should be happy, or not happy. You should go in that you could lose 100%. Definitely very, very risky. So that concludes the major earnings and the summation of the market moving news. If you want to take over the interview. Dan, are you ready?
Okay, guys. Well, give a round of applause to Dan, the man.
Thank you, Dan. We appreciate you.
Absolutely, yo. Thank you.
How's your day been, Dan?
It's been good so far. Just another day grinding the market.
Oh,
Something.
I get you.
Hell yeah, it's something that I've just wound up loving to do. So I'm just gonna keep doing it.
How would you describe yourself if you could describe yourself to someone?
I would definitely say persistent. Um, that to me that's the first thing that comes to mind because I feel like it's important because it all starts from there. Repetition.
Yeah.
You got to just have that mindset. You know.
Yeah, I mean, you're not wrong because, I mean, you go through the ups and downs, and if you're not persistent, then you just give up.
You lose that. Yeah. You start lacking that. That motive, that drive.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, how did that? What basically got you to start trading? Like, what made you one day be like, okay, I want to open up a brokerage account and trade?
Honestly, I've just always been like obsessed with the fact that I want to work for myself. Like I want to be, an entrepreneur. That's basically how I look at it. You're running, you're making the moves. You're controlling the money. You're, everything. It's all intertwined.
Yeah. How long have you been trading for?
Next month will be 2 years trading
Oh,
options.
damn! Congrats.
Thanks, man. Thank you.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I actually, when I first started out, I came across this group. It was, I don't know if you ever heard of it, Trader Circle X.
Yeah, I have.
Yeah. So I mean, it was my first. I was just starting to get into it, and I felt like it was a little not as personal as I feel like it should have been. So but other than that, I've only been in 2 other groups other than you guys, and ever since the first day, I was just knew this was gonna be big. Something special about this one.
Tell us about your ups and downs in trading.
So it's a grind. When I first started, I didn't net a profit until January of this year. So about 10, 11 months of just consistent L's. But
I
it
think,
was a learning process,
because I think I
Oh, sorry.
remember back in our starting days or something. I watched you a bit, like kind of developed into who you are now. To be honest, I remember you were
Yeah.
you're kind of struggling at first,
Mhm.
and then I think you talked to Dom. I think one
Yep.
time,
I reached out to Dom. Yeah.
and yeah, and then
From
Dom sent you
then.
this paragraph,
Mhm.
encouraged you and stuff like that, and then man, dude, since then you just took off.
Mhm.
I
100%,
mean,
bro.
it's just great seeing how you developed so well.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah. It's. I couldn't have done it without you guys.
Yeah.
It's everyone. It's like a collective thing. We're
Oh
all
yeah.
we're all in it together.
What brokerage do you prefer to trade on?
Um. So I started out using
Don't say Robin.
Robinhood.
No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Honestly, it's tough because
I mean, you
I
can say what you like to trade on, and then what you like to use technical analysis on.
yeah. So
That should make it easier.
I do like to trade on Robinhood.
Nothing wrong with that.
But yeah, but I do use technical analysis with. I'd say I'm like 50-50 with Webull and TOS. Definitely TOS a little bit more. But a Webull I like to use. It's quick on for like their
Phone.
iPhone app. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's definitely a good. Like I use that mostly. If I'm on my desktop, definitely TOS.
So what got you? I guess you kind of went over this a little bit. What got you to join trading alphas?
Honestly, I when I first when I first started, it was just like 40 or 50 of us or something like that.
Yeah.
And I got something. I got something from Dom, I think it was, and he was like, "Oh, like we're just starting out. Like, check this out." And I liked how I don't know, I liked how like from in the beginning it was very you know like it was we were really focused
Personal
on just like
or
yeah, personal and also just like growing as a trader because I feel like
yeah.
like since we first started, I mean we've made like a lot of progress. I mean personally, I think from a year ago, what today even crazy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, but yeah, I mean, I mean, trading alphas. I mean, right from the start, I was like, "Oh, this sounds like this is dope." like. But yeah, um,
When you were starting off, what were some mistakes you made as a trader?
my first a lot. um, I'd say a big one would definitely be um the types of contracts I was buying. They were just no good. They were no good. They like they were too far out of the money, and the the expirations were, I was still trying to figure out what was like what worked for me and how I trade.
Yeah.
So but definitely position sizing. I didn't really know how to do, and another mistake I would say definitely YOLOing earnings. Done it a few times. Doesn't work. But yeah, those are just some of the few mistakes that I've done.
Are there tips you would give to new traders?
Yeah. Have the number one thing is you want to you definitely have a plan. Um, stick to what dabble with a few different techniques and strategies and see which one works for you the best and grow off of that.
Mm-hmm.
That's definitely
Yeah, I mean, I would agree too, because I mean, I used to test before when I started. I would test out a bunch of different strategies to see which one
hmm
fits me best. Because I feel like people try to look at like they look at someone like, say for example, you, right? You trade this certain strategy, and they want to trade exactly your strategy, but a lot of the times that may not work for someone else.
they made it. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, well, it's working for them. Why isn't it working for me? Well, it's something you gotta. That's something that you gotta figure out. Personally.
Oh yeah,
You gotta
100%.
you
Something
gotta
you just gotta test out, grind, and
hmm
yeah.
That's really what got me to where I'm at now is
Are there any mistakes you feel like you still make till to this day?
yeah that's going a little too heavy is definitely something I personally want to work on a little bit more.
Hmm.
um I guess you can kind of say that goes along the lines of FOMO. um but yeah, from here on out, like I really want to focus on like growth and capital preservation.
Hmm. Do you usually go to through like a routine when you start
um
trading?
like before like I enter anything or
Yeah, I mean it could
like
be like before the market opens,
oh
before you
yeah, so
enter a
I'm
trade,
like
or
I at this point I'm up like automatic. I don't need an alarm,
yeah, me too.
and and I'm up usually about like an hour and a half to an hour before market open. I would say so like 8 o'clock. I'm up Eastern time.
Hmm.
So but I'll wake up, see what's good with what's moving in pre market. I'll usually look at SPY, QQQ, um and I'll see what's going on there. I'll check out the dollar index and also the
Ooh,
10 year
foreign
as well.
exchange.
And yeah, man, see, and what's like for me, like I know I mean, you said it, we've all said it that the first like 30 minutes are pretty crucial.
Yeah.
So whether it be, that's when stuff's moving a lot, most volatile, and um, usually like for what we do, the contract prices are, usually they're going to be most of the times they're a little more valuable in the morning and towards the end of the day. So for me, like I've implemented that into my strategy for when I'm buying and when I'm selling, etc.
Hmm. So I mean, how do you? when you have a red day or say a streak of red days, how do you go by handling with your emotions or what you could do?
Tough one. It's happened a lot, and what I try to do is basically emotion wise, just it's tough, but you just got to keep looking at, yeah, this is now, but like look what I got, you know, next, month or year, whatever.
Yeah.
Anything can happen. Like with what we do, opportunities are limitless. So
Mm-hmm.
just knowing that, like that, you can recover from anything. So that's the way I look at it.
Brilliant. So do you see yourself doing this for a living, or like what's your what do you see yourself doing in the future?
100%. I've thought about it for a while. I mean, I've been doing this for 2 years, and I feel like if I can, bring it all to the table, I feel like I could definitely, pursue this as a career.
Mm-hmm.
And it's something I really that I've put a lot of my time and effort into.
Mm-hmm.
So from here on out, I'm like, let's get it, let's keep going.
Hell yeah.
That's
I
the
mean
goal, brother.
that's all the questions I have, but I
Word.
do want to add something. Is that I mean you were with us from day one, and to be honest,
Mm-hmm.
I've said it before, but it is honestly amazing how much I've seen you grow.
Thank you, bro. Yeah,
Like
I'm like, yeah, for like even
it
myself,
makes
I'm
me
kind of
proud,
like,
honestly.
hell yeah. I mean, I couldn't do it without you and everyone else that's a part of this team. It's
I
just
mean, man, you put in the work.
absolutely. We all do. You know, that's what's awesome about this group.
Happy for you,
Hundred
my man.
percent. But I want to see if I had anything to say real quick.
Go for it.
Um,
If you got
yeah.
questions, go
Also, I
for it
just
as
want to
well.
mention like over trading. I don't know if any members,
Oh yeah,
struggle with
100%.
this, but yeah, I've noticed like I've kind of caught myself a few times, like in the
Mm-hmm.
not really in the process, but I'm like, you don't want to like I tell myself you don't want to always be like wanting to be in a forcing when you start to
Yeah.
force things. It's not always it doesn't really. That's usually when you start to see those consecutive down days. That's what I've noticed.
Mm-hmm.
But just trying
I
to
mean,
get some
I
more.
would definitely agree with you because I mean, I've made mistakes like that in the past as well, where
Yep.
you
Yep.
get into one bad play, and then you start getting into a bunch of other different plays just so you can try to get back what you lost, but then you're just building up on the losses
Yep. And
because
you
of
just keep digging.
frustration, emotions,
Mhm.
and then when you should
Suck.
probably just take it back and take it easy.
Yeah. At that point, you just gotta just be like, just take a break or something.
Yeah.
Because I mean, it's happened to me before. I'm not gonna lie. I've had a few
Mm-hmm.
accounts. I've blown a few accounts. But yeah, you gotta. That's one thing I would definitely. If anyone's out there struggling with that, let me know. But yeah. Other than that,
You got any questions from Ryan?
No, I'm good on my end. I just want to thank you for taking the time out and you conducting
yeah,
this interview with
of
it. I
course,
really
man.
do appreciate it.
Yeah, we
Absolutely,
appreciate it, my man.
absolutely.
Keep up the
And
good alerts.
hell yeah, thank you guys. That's
Yes,
some
sir.
hell yeah. One, I guess what I plan on doing, I guess in the future, I definitely want to get into real estate. Something that I want to do with some of my profits as a trader. So that's
Yep.
something that I've been thinking for down the
Smart
line.
Land
man.
only goes up.
Hell yeah,
Literally.
absolutely. But yeah, so
Smart
that's
man.
me. I'm from Jersey, by the way. So if anyone's Jersey, let me know.
Nah, I'm from
There's
Hey,
bound
Dayton.
to
Dan,
be one.
you got a couple questions in chat.
Okay, let's see if anyone in the chat has questions for you. Let's see.
The Lagoon had a question.
What would Lagoon? Where is it? Oh, okay.
What indicator?
What indicator do you use for entry and exits?
Oh wait, where was that at? Oh, sorry, I was looking for it in the
That's
channel.
in Gen chat.
Oh, send it in chat.
Lagoon.
Oh, okay. So, I usually use I used a couple. I like to use it's the moving average weighted, and also like for like if I'm doing the intraday stuff, definitely the VWAP, and I also like to use like the daily EMAs as well.
Yeah, those are good ones.
Oh yeah.
Okay, next question. What would you recommend for someone who has a long way to go to recover? That's from Scooby Doo.
I would say just start small, think small, you know. Instead I know when that happened to me, at first I thought like, oh, like I got to hit a home run. Like that's the only thing that's going to get me out of this. But then I started to realize, if I actually, like strategize and figure out, all right, I know that this works. How many times do I have to do that to get to where I want to be,
Mm-hmm.
So that's basically best thing I could say,
Yeah.
to be honest.
And then to add to that, I mean, when I would lose and then I would try to go back, because if in the back of your mindset is to get back what you lost, then a lot of the times you end up doing irrational trades possibly,
Yep.
or trying to force
Mhm.
stuff because your mindset is just like, I need to get back what I lost. But
Yep.
where your mindset should be is look at what you have right now. You grow what you have right now. And
Mhm.
that's what your focus is, because if you're focused on just growing what you have right now, you'll get back what you lost and you won't even notice.
Without even yep, it'll just happen
Yeah.
because you stick to a plan and it works. I'm telling you, it works. So I mean,
Yep.
I've had great success so far, and I plan on continuing. So yeah, guys. Awesome. Well, again, like thank you guys for having me. If anyone else
Yes,
does have
sir.
a question, like I'll just DM me or something. I'll unfortunately I got to get back to work, but yeah, I appreciate it, guys. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you for taking the time.
Thank you, my man.
Of course.
Keep up the great work.
Hell yeah. I'm looking to be more active in voice and stuff too. So I'll
Oh,
definitely be
yes.
in there more for
I
sure.
need that. I talk to myself.
Yeah, bro. It's been a little quiet. I saw that, but definitely I'll be there.
Appreciate
Oh,
you.
Thanks,
Of
Dan.
course.
appreciate it.
Thank you, guys. Peace.